In the shadows of a forgotten past, a tale of blood and destiny unfolds. Join us as we unravel the chilling saga of the Mexica and the flayed Culhua princess during their great exodus from Aztlan. This is a story of power, prophecy, and the relentless spirit of a people carving their name into the annals of history. In our last exploration, we journeyed through Aztlan and witnessed the Mexica's migration to Lake Texcoco, culminating in the establishment of Tenochtitlan. The story of the Mexica and the Culhua princess is a blend of history and legend, deeply rooted in the Mexica's foundation story. The Mexica, after fleeing Aztlan and a long migration, arrived at the basin of Mexico around 1325 CE, where they faced hostility from the tribes, who already settled there. They were guided by Huitzilopochtli, the supreme civil and military leader whose name translates to hummingbird feather in the Nahuatl language. Huitzilopochtli received direct guidance from the sun god Huitzilopochtli, who instructed the Mexica to undertake the exodus and find their promised land. A coalition led by the Tepanecs of Azcapotzalco, supported by the Culhua, saw the Mexica as a dangerous threat and went to war with them. During the battle, Huitzilopochtli and his daughter Chimalaxoch were captured by Colhua warriors. They were brought before King Coxcoxtli, the ruler of Culhuacan. The Mexica were decisively defeated in modern Chapultepec Park. Following their defeat, the Mexica sought refuge in Culhuacan, where they were granted land at Tizapan, an inhospitable lava flow near today's University City. They adapted to this harsh environment, drawing on their hunting and gathering experience. As the Mexica integrated into Culhuacan society, intermarriages began and they started styling themselves as Culhua Mexica. This kinship allowed them to regard themselves as part of the Toltec civilization, as Culhuacan was a settlement of Toltec settlers after the fall of Tula. The Culhua, an established society, absorbed many Toltec influences, blending their rich traditions. Tula, known as Tolan to its inhabitants, was once a bustling metropolis, the beacon of the Toltec Empire. At its zenith, Tula influenced Mesoamerica with its unique art, architecture, and urban planning. The most iconic symbols of Tula are the Atlantean figures, towering stone warriors believed to be carriers of the heavens, much like the Greek Titan Atlas. Around 1150 CE, Tula faced a sudden and catastrophic decline. Theories abound, from internal strife to ecological disasters, but the exact cause remains a mystery. Despite their fall, the Toltecs left an indelible mark on subsequent civilizations, including the Mexica, who revered them as cultural forebears and masters of the arts. After Tula's fall, the Toltecs didn't just disappear. They assimilated into neighboring societies, notably the Culhua, blending their rich traditions. The Mexica's position was further strengthened when they were enlisted as allies in a war against Xochimilco. In the ensuing battle along the lakeshore, the Mexica warriors saved the day. Aspiring now to higher status, the Mexica boasted of their achievements in the marketplace. This insolence failed to impress the old Culhua nobles. As discontent arose, the Mexica themselves precipitated their own violent departure. Obeying the promptings of Huitzilopochtli's priests, they had approached King Chimalaxoch, the Culhua ruler, asking for his beautiful daughter's hand in marriage and as their sovereign. The Culhua king agreed, but little did he know this marriage would end in tragedy. In the days leading up to the marriage, the princess was revered, taking on the persona of Toca, the deity of fertility, healing, and renewal. She was dressed in an elaborate costume, adorned with precious jewels, and she participated in various ceremonies that mirrored the mythological narratives of the gods. On the day of her marriage, a procession would lead her to the top of a pyramid, the site closest to the heavens and the gods. There, amidst the chanting of priests and the beating of drums, the princess, once adorned in regal attire, now lay bound and trembling on the sacrificial altar. As the sacrificial blade descended upon the Culhua princess, a hush fell over the gathered Mexica. The air was thick with anticipation and filled with the scent of copal incense. The priest's incantations echoed, invoking the ancient deities. With a swift motion, he sliced through the princess's flesh, exposing her beating heart. The heart, believed to be the seat of the soul and the essence of life, was then lifted towards the sky and offered to the sun god, Huitzilopochtli, as sustenance to fuel his daily battle against the forces of darkness. This act was seen as a necessary sacrifice to ensure the sun would rise again, and thus the world would continue to exist. The princess's blood flowed, merging with the sacred symbols etched on the floor. The altar pulsed with raw energy, a convergence of life and death, and then it happened, the transformation. The princess's anguished cries turned into ethereal whispers. King Chimalaksoch, who had been invited to the wedding, witnessed the gruesome scene where the priest was wearing his daughter's skin. The king's heart wavered between horror and awe. His daughter, once flesh and blood, now embodied the earth itself. In a divine metamorphosis, she became the Mexica's Toci, the revered our grandmother. Toci, an aspect of the mother goddess Huitzilopochtli, bore the weight of creation and destruction. She was the heart of the earth, the healer and the harbinger of war. In that sacred moment, the Mexica priest had not only fulfilled his duty, but also unraveled the fabric of existence. The king's grief mingled with reverence as he witnessed the goddess before him, a testament to sacrifice, transformation, and the inexorable march of destiny. As grief turned to outrage, the Culhua king took arms and was joined by others engaged in the wild battle of javelins and arrows. The Mexica were once again driven into the reeds and brackish swamps. The next day they made their way back en route to find their promised land. The Culhua princess's sacrifice was not an isolated act of violence, but a ritual steeped in symbolism and the Mexica's desire to align themselves with the cosmos's divine forces. Toci held immense significance in their rituals and religious practices. The goddess was closely associated with healing, was revered by curers of ailments and midwives. Her connection to sweat baths was profound. Surprisingly, Toci also had an identification with war. She carried the epithet Woman of Discord. During the Veintena of Ochpanistli, a 20-day period in the Aztec calendar, the harvest time rituals honored Toci in her aspect as the heart of the earth. These rituals celebrated the agricultural cycle's end and the beginning of the harvest season. The Mexica believed that the cosmos was in a delicate balance, and through sacrifice, they could renew and maintain the natural order of life and death, ensuring the sun's rise and the continuation of life. Despite the gruesome nature of the sacrifice, the Mexica continued to rise in power. Huitzilopochtli, now free, continued to receive direct guidance from the sun god Huitzilopochtli. Huitzilopochtli led the Mexica through their arduous journey, which lasted several decades and involved numerous challenges, including battles with hostile tribes and navigating treacherous terrain. They eventually overthrew the Tepanec hegemony and claimed the title ruler of the Culhua. Under Huitzilopochtli's leadership, the Mexica finally settled after receiving the prophesied sign, which was an eagle perched on a cactus devouring a serpent. After the overthrow of the Tepanec hegemony, the Mexica formed a military and political pact known as the Triple Alliance. This alliance was among 3 city-states who shared lands in the basin of Mexico. Tenochtitlan was settled by the Mexica, Texcoco was home to the Colhua, and Tlacopan was home to the Tepaneca. This Triple Alliance exerted tremendous power over a wide swath of central Mexico for the years 1428 to 1521. Before falling to Spanish conquistadors led by Hernán Cortés, the alliance moved quickly to subdue other city-states in the basin, with the south being conquered by 1432, the west by 1435, and the east by 1440. The Mexica and Theer alliance expansion and dominance marked the establishment of what was to become the Aztec Empire that ruled central Mexico, and eventually most of Mesoamerica. Tenochtitlan, the island metropolis, became the heart of this booming empire. Ingenious agricultural practices like the chinampas, or floating gardens, and a complex network of canals turned an unwanted swampy land into a thriving economic center. As the sun sets on our exploration, we are left with a vivid image of the Aztecs' rise, a tale of endurance, spirituality, and the unyielding pursuit of greatness. The legacy of the Triple Alliance and Tenochtitlan continues to captivate us, a reminder of the indomitable spirit of the Mexica people. If you're captivated by the Mexica's rich tapestry of myths and their indelible impact on history, subscribe for more tales of civilizations and the legacies they leave behind. Share your thoughts on how ancient history shapes our world. Thanks for watching and keep exploring.